zombie movies and vampires on TV.
Back in the day of candlelights and carriages.
The master of blood-curdling stories was a man named Edgar Allan Poe.
Poe wrote about murder and morgues.
About graveyards and gargoyles.
In this tale about a man who had lost his mind.
What? I am not crazy. You think I am, but I'm not.
And
Thus the tale begins. It starts with an old man who shares an apartment with our villain.
That's right. The old man.
Would you kindly get me some tea?
Of course, I'll be right there. And with the morning paper too.
You look very tired. Didn't you get any sleep last night?
I'm fine, old man. If anything, my senses are especially mean.
Do you have a headache? I will get you some tea.
No. You just enjoy your tea.
What a kind-hearted old man.
True enough, the old man had done me no harm, but he had this one sickly eye. It was like an eye of a vulture. Whenever it looked at me, my blood ran cold. So slowly, over time, I made up my mind to kill him.
He made up his mind.
I was not crazy. It was his evil eye. It haunted me. It belittled me. It drove me crazy from the room. I had to rid myself of that evil eye. I set about the task. Night after night, I crept into the old man's room.
He shone a light upon the eye.
But every night, the eye was closed. So I waited. After all, it wasn't the old man who vexed me, but his eye.
His evil eye.
On the 8th night, I crept into the old man's room and heard him sit up on his bed.
He cried out.
It was a groan of mortal terror, a low stifled sound from the bottom of his soul.
Who's there?
I remained still. For hours I stood without moving, barely breathing. And then I shone upon a light, a single beam, upon the eye.
It was open.
Wide open, and it made me furious to look upon it. Dull blue, with its hideous milky film over it. I had to get rid of it.
The vulture's eye.
And then I heard it.
The beating of the old man's heart.
Faster and faster and faster.
Louder and louder and louder.
I couldn't stand it no longer. I leapt. I smiled when the deed was done, yet for many minutes the old man's heart continued to beat on. When it finally ceased, I examined the corpse. The old man was dead, stone dead.
It was over.
The heart was still.
The eye was closed forever.
The eye would trouble me no more.
An hour later, there came a knocking at the door.
In bed. It was the police.
There has been a complaint. Your neighbors, they called.
A scream was heard.
Like this.
Yes.
Or at least that's what they were saying. Suspicious, don't you think?
Yes, the shriek. A shriek of terror. It was my own, during a dream.
Or a nightmare.
May we come in? Look around. Investigate.
The villain invited them in.
Yes, I invited them in. I wasn't worried, for I had carefully concealed the body of the old man beneath the floorboards. No human eye, not even his, could detect anything wrong. There was no stain, no blood whatsoever. I've been too clever for that.
Who else lives here with you, sir?
Yes, whom do you live with?
And why isn't he here?
Ah, the old man. He's away. You see, this is his room. His bed isn't made, and his belongings are in place.
Is something wrong?
You seem to have a headache. You should sit down.
Yes, a fine idea. Perhaps would you like to join me for a spot of tea?
A spot of tea?
That would be lovely.
Yes, a spot of tea.
He served them tea.
Indeed, for what do I have to fear? I served them tea the very spot I had hidden the corpse.
This is some fine tea.
They say green tea's good for you. But I have to say, Darjeeling is my favorite.
The officers chatted. I had fooled them well. Could a crazy man have done that?
But soon our villain wished them gone.
I grew pale. Why wouldn't they leave?
Lots of strange things happening these days.
People acting oddly, like there's something in the air.
Then there came a ringing in my ears.
Or muffled buzzing sounds.
No doubt I grew very pale. I raised my voice, but they still continued to chat.
Countryside must be beautiful this time of year.
Yes, with all the fall colors and all.
The buzz grew louder until I realized it wasn't a buzzing sound at all, but a ticking sound.
Like that of a watch.
Or a clock.
Oh, a time bomb.
I paced and fro. I clutched my head, but it continued to blather as if nothing was wrong.
A walk in the woods must be nice this time of year.
Much like the sea.
Yes. It's good for the soul.
The noise grew louder, and then I knew what it was.
Louder, louder, and louder.
I paced and flowed with heavy strides. I hissed. I gestured with my arms.
Anyways, why do they call it Darjeeling?
I think it has something to do with where it's grown. In India, unless I'm mistaken.
Then it came to me. They knew. They were mocking me with their innocent smiles and sense of tea.
Oh, agony!
Well, all seems well here. I guess we should be reporting back to the station.
Louder, louder still. I couldn't bear it no longer.
We couldn't bear it any longer.
Villains, monsters, I did it. I confess. Tear up the floorboards. Here is the beating of the old man's hideous heart. That's right. I did it. I shan't tell you what happens next, nor shall I tell you what's going to happen if you don't stop staring at me with your vulture eyes.